Feels pretty good. I mean, it's great to be out here competing on the world stage. So I'm just happy to be here and can't wait for the semi.
What was the experience?
It's a great experience for me, running against the big dogs. You know, it's great. It's great to be out here.
At 17 years old, Gout Gout is doing what many sprinters spend their whole careers trying to achieve. The Australian teenager has become the face of sprinting's future, breaking records, stunning veterans, and drawing comparisons to the greatest of all time, Usain Bolt. His story is one of raw talent, destiny, and the audacity to believe that youth can go toe-to-toe with experience on the biggest stage. Born in Queensland to South Sudanese parents who immigrated to Australia in 2006, Gout Gout's journey into athletics is as extraordinary as his name. The Ipswich grammar student has already carved his name into history. At just 16, he stormed into the spotlight with a breathtaking run of 19.84 seconds in the 200 meters and 9.99 in the 100 meters at the Australian National Championships in Perth. Though aided by a strong tailwind that rendered the times illegal, the message was clear. Australia had a prodigy on its hands. That performance earned him his first national senior title and a ticket to the World Championships in Tokyo, where he would test himself against the best sprinters on the planet. Australia hasn't produced a global sprint star in decades, but suddenly, this teenager was making the world take notice. Gout's European debut came in June 2025 at the Ostrava Golden Spike meeting in the Czech Republic. Running against seasoned sprinters, he demolished the field with a blistering 20.02 seconds, breaking his own Australian record by 0.02. The victory wasn't just about time, it was about dominance. He finished 0.17 seconds ahead of Cuban Renier Mena, while British veteran Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake had to settle for third. After the race, Gout's words captured both his innocence and confidence. "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race. I don't feel any pressure. I just go out there and run, and nothing stops me from doing that." His calm, almost playful approach to racing set him apart. Where others feel the crushing weight of expectation, Gout radiates freedom. His mindset reflects both youth and an unusual maturity. "Get some more races in me, and the 20-second barrier will drop for sure," he promised. Few doubted him. The 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo marked his senior global debut. While most teenagers are juggling exams and video games, Gout was lining up against the fastest men in the world. His stated goal was to break the 20-second barrier legally and make history as the first Australian to do so. In the heats, he showed no fear, running 20.23 seconds to qualify for the semifinals. Against experienced competitors, including reigning world champion Noah Lyles, he stood his ground. In the semis, Gout clocked 20.36, finishing fourth in his heat, just shy of the final. By conventional standards, it wasn't a failure, it was a statement. Lyles himself praised him. "He's more talented at 17 than I was. He's got a great head on him, a great team around him, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops." For perspective,
he's an amazing kid. He got a great head on him. He got a great team around him. It's going to be interesting to see how he develops. The thing that I always look for when I'm looking at younger talent is, hey, are you just going to be able to train into shape one? Because when you're in high school, you're able to just get races.
When Lyles was 17, his personal bests were 10.14 in the 100 meters and 20.18 in the 200 meters, both slower than what Gout is already running. Gout embraced the moment. "The biggest eye-opener is knowing that I can compete at a young age against the best men in the world. It definitely makes me hungry knowing that I'm just a kid right now, but I have time. They may not have 15 years, but I do." Tokyo wasn't just about the track. It was also Gout's introduction to the global media. Adidas promoted him as one of the new faces of the championships, pushing him into the spotlight. At his first major press conference, he looked shy, awkwardly smiling as he faced a room packed with journalists. But once he began speaking, he found his rhythm. He opened up about his journey, from his parents' migration story to sharing a room with his older brother who makes a bigger mess. He admitted he's still a high school gamer at heart, playing Fortnite, Minecraft, and Zelda, scrolling TikTok, and stressing over exams like any teenager. His favorite food? Burgers. His favorite drink? Peach iced tea. Yet beneath the teenage quirks lies remarkable maturity. Gout spoke about patience, balance, and ambition. I struggled a bit during the start of my career, but now I know that things don't happen overnight. I'm only 17. His words resonated with athletes and fans alike. Here was a prodigy who wasn't blinded by hype. He knew greatness takes time. Perhaps the most striking part of Gout's rise has been the comparison to Usain Bolt. Bolt himself acknowledged the similarities. Definitely, the talent he's showing is the same thing I had when I was young. But he has to be careful in transition. If he gets everything right, his future is going to be bright. Being compared to the greatest sprinter in history could be overwhelming, but Gout views it as motivation. It definitely feels great because Usain Bolt is literally the greatest track athlete we have ever seen. Having someone of that caliber know me and just know I'm on that path to greatness as well. Standing 1.83 meters tall and still growing, Gout's frame resembles Bolt's. His top-end speed is already world-class, though he admits his starts need work. With time, experience, and physical maturity, experts believe he could break barriers once thought untouchable. For Gout, the future feels written in the stars. The 2032 Olympic Games will be held in Brisbane, his home state. To him, that's no coincidence. I think God kind of made my parents follow that path, and they ended up in Queensland. There was a choice between Canada and Australia, and I think per God's will they landed in Queensland for sure. He sees Brisbane 2032 not just as a dream, but as destiny. Running 19 seconds, you're up there for sure. You know you're in the top 15, top 20 in the world, so it's definitely great. Much of Gout's stability comes from his family. He praises his parents for instilling focus, motivation, and integrity. Their hard work shaped his mindset. His coach, Di Shepherd, plays an equally pivotal role. We bring ideas from both ends, Gout explained, highlighting their collaborative relationship. Even Noah Lyles, now a mentor of sorts, provides advice and encouragement. The two first met at an Adidas camp in Florida earlier in 2025, and the bond has grown since. Lyles sees in Gout the same fire that pushed him to global stardom. Gout Gout is rewriting what's possible for a teenager in athletics. He's already a national champion, a record holder, and a semi-finalist on the world stage. More importantly, he's handling the attention with grace. While veterans fear losing to a teenager, Gout doesn't see it as pressure. He sees it as opportunity. His journey is only beginning, but the signs are undeniable. With time, training, and the right guidance, he could carry the weight of a nation's hopes into Brisbane 2032 and beyond. Gout Gout didn't just run fast, he humiliated veterans who underestimated him, proving that youth and talent can rattle even the most established sprinters. He has time, talent, and destiny on his side. Whether it's breaking records in Ostrava, holding his own against Lyles in Tokyo, or dreaming of Olympic gold in Brisbane, this teenager has already reshaped the conversation around sprinting. The world is watching, and the story of Gout Gout is only just beginning.
We are delighted to have Divine Iheime, the fastest 14-year-old in the world, with us now.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
and not just the fastest in the world, but just to put that in context, Divine's 100-metre time of 10.3 seconds.
Divine Iheime is just 15 years old, and he's already faster than many of the best sprinters were at his age. He's breaking records, surprising experts, and turning heads in the track world. People are comparing him to Usain Bolt and Noah Lyles. Could this young runner be the next big name in sprinting? Divine Iheime was born in Oxford, England, and is the third son in a sporty family. From a young age, he showed natural speed. His coach is also his mom, Yinkiruka Anu, who saw his talent early. She's a former athlete herself, so she knows how to train someone to be great. With her help and support, Divine kept improving. He didn't just get better, he kept beating older and more experienced runners every time he raced. That same 10.30-second run was even faster than what Usain Bolt ran at the same age. Bolt ran 10.57 seconds when he was 14. Reports say Noah Lyles was running over 11 seconds back then. So Divine isn't just catching up, he's already ahead. When he heard he had beaten Lyles' time, he just laughed and said, "That's tough. I guess I just work harder." That reply showed how confident and calm he is, which is rare for someone his age. But that wasn't just a one-off performance. Divine followed it up with a 10.41 at the English Schools Championships, setting a new record in the intermediate boys category. He also holds the indoor 60-meter record for 15-year-olds, a distance that tests pure acceleration. That's what makes Divine so exciting to watch. His starts are electric, his acceleration is clinical, and his top-end speed doesn't seem to fade like many of his competitors. These aren't just raw talents. They're the result of disciplined training, smart coaching, and natural gifts. Behind every stride is a story of dedication. Divine is not part of a flashy training camp with sponsors throwing money at him. He trains with PWD Athletics Academy and Radley AC. These aren't global powerhouses, but in many ways, that's part of the magic. Divine is doing all this from a modest setup with family support and a focus on fundamentals. That grounded approach is likely one of the reasons he's been able to stay consistent. There's no media circus, no over-the-top branding, just speed, results, and ambition. His personal best now stands at 10.29 seconds, recorded at age 15. That time isn't just good for his age, it's elite by any standard. For context, many senior sprinters spend years trying to break the 10.30 barrier. Divine has already done it before he's old enough to drive. This raises a massive question. If he's this fast now, where will he be at 18, 20? Could he be the one to break through that next level of sprinting dominance? But with all the hype comes the caution. The world of sprinting is littered with stories of teenage prodigies who burned out before they ever got close to their prime. Injuries, mental pressure, and the weight of expectations can crush even the most talented runners. That's why Divine's mindset might be his greatest strength. He doesn't seem rattled by the comparisons or the attention. In interviews, he talks about enjoying the sport, improving his technique, and learning from each race. That maturity could be what keeps him on track when others might falter. Another intriguing part of Divine's journey is how different he is from the athletes people compare him to. Usain Bolt was known for his playful charisma, long strides, and sheer dominance. Noah Lyles brings a different energy, with his flashy style and smooth transitions. Divine, on the other hand, keeps things quiet. He lets his performances do the talking. He's not trying to mimic anyone. In his own words, he has a unique, natural style, and he intends to keep it that way. This individuality is refreshing in a sport where young athletes are often pushed to fit into molds. While others might try to emulate Bolt's swagger or Lyles's flair, Divine focuses on refining his own technique. That authenticity makes him stand out not just as a talent, but as a personality in the making, and fans are taking notice. Social media is filled with clips of his races, side-by-side comparisons to Bolt, and breakdowns of his technique. The excitement is building, and the track community is watching his every move. Of course, breaking youth records doesn't guarantee future greatness. History has shown that early promise doesn't always translate to world titles, but what makes Divine different is the consistency, the calm, and the pace of his progress. Each race is a step forward. Each season, a new personal best. There's no sign of plateauing, no sign of slowing down. He's not just racing against time, he's racing against a legacy. To be compared to Bolt is no small thing. But to be ahead of Bolt's pace at the same age, that's something entirely different. It changes expectations. It puts pressure not just on Divine, but on the coaches, the support system, and the path they choose for him. Will they push him into senior races early? Will they protect his development? The decisions made in the next few years could determine whether Divine becomes a household name or just another what could have been. One thing is clear. Divine Iheime is not a fluke. He's not just a viral moment. He's a phenomenon in the making. And if he continues at this rate, we might be witnessing the early steps of the next great sprinting legend. For now, he remains a 15-year-old who's already faster than some Olympians were at twice his age. The future is his to chase. So what happens next? That's the question everyone's asking. Will he break into the senior circuit within the next year? Will he face off against the current elite? Or will he stay on a carefully managed path, focused on development, rather than immediate glory? Only time will tell. But whatever the future holds, Divine Iheime has already made his mark. He's shown that greatness doesn't wait for the right age. Sometimes, it just needs the right moment and the right runner to seize it. The next few years will be critical. As Divine enters bigger races and tougher competition, every decision will count. How he trains, which events he enters, and how he handles the growing pressure will shape the rest of his career. Many talented runners have shown promise early on, but few have managed to maintain that momentum into adulthood. Divine's story could go either way, but so far, all signs point towards something special. Coaches, fans, and even rival athletes are keeping a close eye on him. The excitement around Divine isn't just about his speed, it's about how he represents a fresh new face in a sport that thrives on explosive talent. Track and field needs young stars to carry the torch, and Divine might just be the one to do it. What's most impressive is how he's handling all this attention. Instead of chasing fame, Divine seems focused on staying grounded and getting better. That mindset could be his biggest advantage. If he continues to train smart, stay healthy, and grow at his current pace, there's no telling how far he could go. The big question isn't whether Divine Iheime is talented. He's already proven that. The question is how high he can rise. Could he become an Olympic medalist, a world champion, the next global icon of sprinting? Could he be the one to take sprinting into its next era? The track is watching. The world is waiting.
But look at this from Jefferson Wooden. She's absolutely flying in the night.
Melissa Jefferson Wooden just did something amazing. This 24-year-old American runner went from saving her dad's life to breaking sprint records, and she just showed the whole world how incredible she really is. At the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Jefferson Wooden didn't just win gold medals, she made history. She became the first American woman ever to win both the 100 meters and 200 meters at a single World Championships. Only 3 other women in the entire world have ever done this before her. Let's start with that jaw-dropping 100-meter final. Jefferson Wooden lined up against the fastest women on the planet, including Olympic champion Julian Alfred and sprint legend Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. When the gun went off, Jefferson Wooden exploded out of the blocks and never looked back. She crossed the finish line in 10.61 seconds, a new championship record and the 4th fastest time in women's 100-meter history. After the race, she was still processing what had happened. "When I crossed the line, I was like, oh wow, I won," Jefferson Wooden said. "I haven't felt happier. Today was all about me, about trusting my abilities, my coach, the line I have been given, and my faith." But here's what makes this even more incredible. Jefferson Wooden wasn't always a sprinting superstar. Back in 2018, she made one of the most selfless decisions an athlete can make. Her father was diagnosed with a rare blood condition, and she put her athletic career on hold to become his stem cell donor. She literally saved his life, then came back to save American sprinting. The 100-meter field was absolutely stacked. Jamaica's Tina Clayton grabbed silver with a personal best of 10.76, while Olympic champion Julian Alfred took bronze despite running with a hamstring injury. The defending world champion Sha'Carri Richardson could only manage 5th place, and the crowd favorite, 38-year-old Fraser-Pryce, finished 6th in what would be her final major championship appearance. Fraser-Pryce deserves special mention here. This Jamaican legend has been dominating sprints since 2008, winning Olympic golds and 5 world 100-meter titles. Seeing her compete one last time brought tears to many eyes, including her own. She received the biggest ovation from the Tokyo crowd, a fitting tribute to one of the greatest sprinters ever. But Jefferson Wooden wasn't done making history. Just 5 days later, she lined up for the 200-meter final with even bigger goals in mind. Nobody had completed the sprint double at World Championships since Fraser-Pryce herself did it back in 2013. That's a 12-year gap. Here's where it gets really interesting. Jefferson Wooden didn't even consider herself a 200-meter specialist. At the start of 2025, her personal best was 22.46 seconds. She told her coaches she wanted to take the 200 meters more seriously, and as she recalls, they both kind of looked at each other like, "Did I hear what she just said? Is she serious?" Well, she was dead serious. In that 200-meter final, Jefferson Wooden ran 21.68 seconds, the fastest time in the world in 2 years. She didn't just win, she absolutely crushed the competition. The silver medalist, Britain's Amy Hunt, finished nearly half a second behind her. That's a massive gap in sprinting terms. Hunt's story is pretty inspiring too. The 23-year-old Cambridge University graduate delayed her athletic career to get an English degree. After winning her first major medal, she had a message for young athletes. You can be an academic badass and a track goddess. You can be the best in everything. The 200-meter field was missing some big names due to injuries. Olympic champion Gabby Thomas withdrew with an Achilles problem, and Julian Alfred couldn't compete after straining her hamstring in the 100-meter final. But Jefferson Wooden didn't care about asterisks or missing competitors. She ran the race of her life when it mattered most. Defending 200-meter champion Shericka Jackson of Jamaica took bronze, but even she couldn't match Jefferson Wooden's speed. The American was clearly in a league of her own, coming off the bend with a commanding lead and maintaining her smooth, powerful stride all the way to the line. "I came out here and I did exactly what I set out to do," Jefferson Wooden said after her victory. "Not a lot of women double anymore, so for me to come here, do the double and win gold medals just says a lot." But wait, there's more. Jefferson Wooden wasn't satisfied with just 2 gold medals. She wanted to match Fraser Price's incredible achievement from 2013, winning 3 sprint golds at a single World Championships. That meant the 4x100-meter relay. The relay final took place in absolutely torrential rain,